we move on to the first talk of the symposium by Dr. Jammalamadaka Suryanarayana garu. He has taken up a very challenging topic actually. When he mentioned the topic, I was so excited to see his nature, daring nature of taking up such a challenging topic. The topic is the composition of Nyaya Sutras, the Sutra composition process. The case of Nyaya Sutras is the topic he chose. And let me briefly introduce Dr. Jammalamadaka Suryanarayana. He is the Senior Project Manager, Siddhanta Knowledge Foundation, Chennai. Suryanarayana Jammalamadaka studied the Nyaya, Tarkashastra under Sri Ambadipudi Radheshyam Shastri, studied Advaita Vedanta under Brahmashri Manidravida Shastrigal, studied Vyakarana till Siddhanta Kaumudi under Brahmashri Ganti Dattatreya Murthy, completed Tenali exams in Tarkashastra, conferred awards Tarkaratna and Vidwan Mani by Sri Kanchi Shankaracharya, Shastra Kalanidhi by Madhya Pradesh State Governor, 2 PGs, one in Sanskritam and another in Nyaya Shastra, completed MPhil, pursuing PhD in Nyaya Shastra, currently working as Assistant Professor in School of Vedic Sciences, MIT ADT University, Pune, Maharashtra. Over to you, Dr. Jammalamadaka Suryanarayana.
Namaste everyone. Actually, I have also completed my PhD in KSU recently. I did not update that. Yeah.
Okay.
And thank you very much.
Congratulations, Suryanarayana garu. For Shastra scholars like you, this PhD is actually a too small title. Thank you.
Sir, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I was really, I am also very excited to present this. So I was having this churning inside my mind for a long time about the sutras and how our rishis actually envisaged such a process which gives out a lot of wisdom in each and every level. So I was been working on this. I was talking with my students, and so accordingly I have made this presentation. So this took me around 3 or 4 days full time to actually churn out the actual produce. So I shall start this with a small Mangalacharanam. Om Shuklam Varadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vigno Pashantaye Ajnanatimiran Dhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnur Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Namasarvebhya. So the points I am going to cover in this talk will be, what is Sutra? Because we all hear the word Sutra many a times in different contexts. But what is the definition of Sutra? What are the dimensions of Sutra? What are the different types of Sutra? We'll just identify in the first part. And in the second part of this talk, I will be talking about Sūtrakara. He is the most important person and hero of the entire talk. The Sūtrakara is the hero. So we'll talk about what is the personality of Sūtrakara. How is Sūtrakara made? What are the elements that Sūtrakara have? What are the abilities he has? And why will he possess those abilities? And we'll be talking about all those dimensions. And in the end, we'll be talking about the process of Sūtrakarana. Sūtrakarana means making a sutra. So these are the 3 main topics I will be dealing with in this talk. So before we even enter into what is Sutra and who is Sutrakara and what is the process of Sutrakarana, we have to be introduced about where does this Sutra come from. So what is that discipline? So it is very famous now. It is called as Indic knowledge systems. We have to understand that Indic knowledge systems is an English word, and the Sanskrita word for that can be Bharatiya Vangmaya. So the Vangmaya or the literature or the knowledge systems which are originated in India can be called as Indic knowledge systems or Indian knowledge systems. So all these systems have a knowledge source which can be called as Vedas. We'll be talking in brief about what are Vedas and what are these knowledge sources also. So from these knowledge sources called Vedas, there are different streams which are flowing down. Why am I saying that they are flowing down? Because they are flowing down to be used by us. Streams are always those water bodies which are mostly used by consumed by the people. So for the consumption, for the applications, to solve problems, these streams are flowing down. And these streams have different names, like they can be called as Śāstra-s. They are also sometimes called as Vedangas. Some of these streams are called as Darshanas. Some of these Darshanas are also called as Śāstra-s. And there are other streams like Purana Itihasas. There are many streams. Like we have Stotras, we have Bhashyas. And in all these streams, there is one very important stream which can be called as Sutra. So that is the main focal point today. So before we go into that, we have to understand the knowledge source. So from where are we getting this knowledge? Is this knowledge created or is it experienced? We have to understand. So there are two different streams. So the entire Bharatiya Vangmaya can be divided into two as Apaurusheya and Paurusheya. So the word Apaurusheya means the knowledge stream which is not Paurusheya. So what is Paurusheya? So the knowledge stream which is attributed to one person or a group of people. Attributed means he himself acknowledges that I have created it, and I will be the bhokta, anubhokta of that knowledge stream also. So I will be enjoying the fruits of this literature also. So when a person is saying that this is prepared by me and all the credit goes to me, then it can be called as Paurusheya. So me is equal to Purusha. Purusha is that person who is still in this samsara. So I will be talking about that also in the later part. So Apaurusheya means, so the knowledge stream which is not Paurusheya, that is Apaurusheya. And for this kind of a knowledge stream, we have different names like Vedaha, Agamaha, Amnayaha, Shrutihi, so on and so forth. So what is the difference between Paurusheya and Apaurusheya? In Apaurusheya, the person who is experiencing it, so the word we have to use is experiencing, not creating. The person who is experiencing the knowledge, his state is something different from us. We can call him as Siddha Purusha or Drashta. Drashta is the most appropriate word that we can use for this person. So what is his state? Comprehends the original design. Original design is the cosmic design of this creation. And he does not attribute himself a different existence from the creator. That is the state of that particular drashta, when he is actually experiencing the knowledge source, which can be called as Veda, Shruti, so on and so forth. And that is why it is also called as Shruti. Shruti is which is heard. He's not saying that I am creating it, but he's hearing it, he's experiencing it. And because of Loka Sangraha is having a daya towards the upcoming generations, the generations which are going to be born, or the generations which are following him. He has a Loka Sangraha, he has a daya towards them, and he is creating that knowledge source. So that is one knowledge source, and the predominant, most important knowledge source we have. The other thing we have is the Paurusheya thing, which we have talked about. So the Sutras which we are going to talk about in this session are actually a kind of Paurusheya knowledge source. Paurusheya means it is attributed to one person. It is an output of a continuous tapasya done by one kind of a Rishi. So what is his state? How can we define him? He can be called as Rishi, Muni, Tapasya, Tapasa, or Sadhaka. There are many names, but we have to understand what is the definition. A Rishi is a person who is actively working to comprehend the fundamental cosmic structure of this creation. And he is very near to achieving it. So that is the kind of state he is in. He's not like us. He's not like us, like he's not confused. He has a clear picture. He don't have any confusion. Okay. So that is the kind of a state the Paurusheya knowledge source have and the Rishis have. So the Paurusheya Vangmaya is everything other than Vedas, other than the Agamas, other than the Shrutis. All of them are the same. So other than Vedas like Sutra, Puranam, Shastram, Bhashyam, Stotram, Vyakhyanam, and every other derived knowledge source can be called as a Paurusheya thing. So this Paurusheya Vangmaya, okay, Paurusheya Vangmaya is the literature which is written by somebody and which is attributed to somebody or a group of people, can be called as Paurusheya Vangmaya. So this Paurusheya Vangmaya can be of three types: the Sutra kind of Paurusheya Vangmaya, the Padya kind of Paurusheya Vangmaya. Padya is nothing but the shlokas, a rhythmic construction of syllables. That is called as a Padya. And the third kind of a knowledge type or the Paurusheya Vangmaya will be Gadya. Gadya is prose. So in the Gadya type of Vangmaya, we have many things. Like if I take Tarka Sangraha, if I take Tarka Bhasha, if I take any Bhashyam, the Bhashyam written by Shankaracharya, the Bhashyam written by Madhvacharya. So all these kinds are coming under Gadya. Gadya is a simple sentence structure which can be called as prose, and it will not have any number count of the sentence, or there are no rhythmic Shabdalankara or something like that attached to it, something like that. So that is a Padya, Gadya kind of a Paurusheya Vangmaya. And the Padya kind of a Paurusheya Vangmaya will be Puranas, all the shlokas which we have, not only in Purana, in the Itihasas, in Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita. All these kind of Paurusheya Vangmaya can be categorized into the Padya type of Paurusheya Vangmaya. And today's main topic is Sutra. So Sutra is the other kind of Paurusheya Vangmaya, which is not coming at Gadya or Padya, but it is different. How is it different? So the Padya, we have a definite definition attributed to it, and we'll take some examples and try to understand what is a Sutra. So before even jumping into what is Sutra, we should understand what are the Apaurusheya Vangmayas we have. So Veda is divided by Maharshi Vedavyasa into 4. Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharvana Veda. All these 4 Vedas are apaurusheyas, and rest can be called as paurusheyas. So here I am taking a small depiction of Ashtadasha Vidyasthanas. So the Bharatiya Vangmaya is divided into different groups according to the purpose. So here we have one division, one kind of division, which is called as Ashtadasha Vidyasthanas. So here you have 4 Vedas and you also have 4 Upavedas. Each and every Veda is attributed with one Upaveda, and this Upaveda is not Apaurusheya, but it is attributed to one Maharshi. So we have Arthashastra. So Arthashastra is written by many people, and the most popular one is Chanakya's, Vishnugupta's Arthashastra. We have Dhanurveda, we have Gandharva Veda, and we have Ayurveda. These are the Upavedas. And we have the other set of knowledge system, which is called as Vedanga. So the main focus of Vedangas is to protect the structure of Vedas as it is, because of the Loka Sangraha, the Akanksha to pass on the knowledge which the Drashtas were experiencing. They have passed on those knowledge in the form of Vedas to their Shishyas. So here the Vedas have different dimensions imbibed, like it has a mantra. The mantra has a swara, mantra has an ucharana, mantra has a meaning. So there are words, meanings, pronunciation, rhythm, applicability, how to use the mantras, where to use the mantras, when to use the mantras, what is the process, and all those things. So there are different dimensions, and to address all those dimensions and to protect the Vedas as it is in all these dimensions, we have the Vedangas. Like Siksha. Shiksha is about the Ucharanam, pronunciation. Vyakarana is the grammar. Chandas is the rhythm. And the Nirukta is a kind of a dictionary. So what are the different words which are used in one meaning? If you want to know, according to Vedas, in the Vedas, you need to refer the Nirukta. In the same way, we have Jyotisha, and Jyotisha is actually used to choose in what time shall I apply Veda mantras. So Veda mantras are used in Vaidika Kratu. Okay, in Karma Kanda it is used. So when should I start something? When should I stop something? When shouldn't I do something? And all these things we have Jyotisha, and we have the Skalpa to actually arrange the process, manage the process. So this is the Vedangas. And also we have Upangas to actually understand the Tattva of the Vedas. We have the Upangas. So in Mimamsa, it will be talking about the Tatparya of the Veda Vakyas. And in the Nyaya, it will be giving you the reasoning abilities and the debating abilities. That is also very much important. So that is also dealt. And we have Dharma Shastra. Okay, Dharma Shastra is all about what is right and what is wrong. And we have Itihasa and Purana. This is the total overall view of the Ashtadasha Vidyasthanas. We also have another bifurcation or another kind of depicting the Vidyasthanas, which is the Chaturdasha Vidyasthanas. So here actually I'm only taking Vedanga and Darshana along with Vedas, because all the Sutra Vangmaya we can take or we can see from this bifurcation of Vedangas and Darshanas. So Vedangas we have talked about. What is the purpose of Vedanga? So here the inner circle which I have depicted is the Vedangas. So Siksha, Vyakaranam, Chandas, Jyotisha, Nirukta and Kalpa. So here I could identify 3 Sutra Vangmaya in the Vedangas also. So first of all, in Siksha has many divisions. There are Sakshat, direct Sikshas like Panini Siksha and other Sikshas. And we also have a division in Siksha which is called as Pratishaksha, which is talking about the Vaidika Vyakaranam. that has sutras. So the Taittiriya Pratishakya is written by Kumaraswamy, son of Lord Shiva. Okay, so the Pratishakya in the form of sutras is given by Kumaraswamy. In the same way, the most popular sutra form is Ashtadhyayi. So Ashtadhyayi is a Vyakarana sutras which is written by Maharshi Panini. And also we have Kalpa Sutras. Many rishis have written them. In Taittiriya Shakha, Maharshi Apastambha has written a Kalpa Sutra. And there are many divisions in these sutras also. There are Dharma Sutras, Grihya Sutras, and other sutras also. All those types of sutras come under Kalpa Sutra. So this is the Vedanga Sutra Vangmaya. So in Darshana, each and every Darshana has a sutra. And we should also understand that Darshana is a perception. Drishyate anena iti darshanam. So the kind of Bharatiya Vangmaya which is enabling us to have a perception towards life. How should I understand this life? How should I understand the creation? How should I understand what is the goal of my life? All these things are dealt in darshanas. And each and every Astika darshana. These darshanas are again of two types. Astika and Nastika. So Astika darshanas are those darshanas which take Veda as a pramana, or which is also endorsing Karma Siddhanta. We can say that these are Astika darshanas. And these are Astika darshanas are 6 types: Nyaya, Vaiseshika, Yoga, Sankhya, Mimamsa, and Vedanta. Mimamsa is also called as Purva Mimamsa, and Vedanta is also called as Uttara Mimamsa. So all these darshanas have a sutra source. I can say that it is source. Why? Because sutras are the source of all these knowledge types. So the above mentioned all knowledge types like Nyaya, Vaiseshika, and everything has sutras in the beginning. And after that, from the sutra, upon the sutra, you will have a vritti, you can have a vartika, you will have a bhashya, you will have another vyakhyana. And sutra is becoming the main source of that knowledge system. And there are other streams which are flowing from sutras, like the bhashya, vartika, and other things. So for example, if you take Nyaya Sutram, Gautama Maharshi has written the Nyaya Sutram, and upon that we have the Vyasa Bhashya and other things. So here, Nyaya Sutra is written by Maharshi Gautama. Vaisheshika Sutra is written by Maharshi Kanada. Yoga Sutras are written by Maharshi Patanjali. Sankhya Sutras are also there. We don't know who is the author. And we have Jaimini Sutras, which are related to the Purva Mimamsa, which is written by Maharshi Jaimini. And also we have the most popular sutras in the darshanas, which are Brahma Sutras, written by Maharshi Vyasa. He is also called as Badarayana. So this is the brief introduction of what kinds of sutras we have and what is the flow of that literature. So sutra is becoming the main source and you have the different streams upon that. So now, after understanding what is Bharatiya Vangmaya and what is the role of sutras in the Bharatiya Vangmaya, now we'll try to understand what is a sutra. So we have a very famous Swarupa Lakshanam for a sutra. Swarupa Lakshanam is that Lakshanam or definition which is trying to elaborate the different aspects of one sutra. So the Lakshanam is itself of 2 types. So we are only taking the Swarupa Lakshanam here. So the shlokam is very, very popular amongst the Shastra circles. Alpaksharam asandigdham saravad vishwato mukham astobham anavadyancha sutram sutravido viduhu. So this is the shloka. Alpaksharam. Alpaksharam means very less syllables. It is not studded with lot of syllables. It is very easy to memorize. So why Alpaksharam? What is the function of Alpaksharam? Why should a sutra be Alpaksharam? That is to memorize it very easily. Why to memorize something? If you memorize something, you can easily contemplate upon that. So the knowledge is now codified, and it is done in a very compact way, so that you can memorize it that very easily, and after that you will have a great chance to contemplate upon. So the second attribute we have is asandigdham. It is alpaksharam. Sometimes if something is very codified, which is very compact, you might have ambiguity, or you might have the samshaya. So asandigdham, it is also built in such a way, created in such a way that there is no samshaya, or it is unambiguous. Asandigdham. And it is also having the third attribute, saravat. Saraha is the potential, or the the rasaha. So saravat is that it is having an accurate meaning related to it. Okay, it is having an accurate meaning, so that is why it is called as saravat. And also we have another attribute, which is vishwatomukham. So the meaning of a sutra is universal, which can be applicable for any time. It is not, so the sutra, a particular sutra is not created for only this year or the next year, or only these 100 years it will be applicable, and after that it is not applicable. It's not like that. So it is an universal literature. In the same way, it is astobham. Astobham means it is, the sutra is not created to give joy to others while it is recited. For example, if a kavya is created, a poem is created, the main purpose of a poem is to create joy for your reader. If somebody is reading that poem, he should enjoy. But the sutra is not created for the enjoyment of the reader. So it is astobham. It is a technical kind of a literature. And the last attribute which is given is anavadyam, because it is created by rishis. And I will be explaining why these are anavadyam, why sutras are irrefutable, because those sutras are not made by people like me or you or any random person, but those are created by our rishis. So that is why they are not refutable, they are irrefutable. So these are the 6 attributes given to a sutra. Now we shall take a sutra from Nyaya Sutra, which is written by Gautama Maharshi, and try to apply all these things. Okay, as we have learned previously that, so the main purpose of a sutra is to give you a perfect perception about this life and give you perfect solutions to your problems, to understand this life. Okay, that is the main purpose of a darshanam. So in the second sutra of Nyaya Sutram, we have this sutram, Dukkha Janma Pravritti Dosha Mithya Jnananam Uttarottarapaye Tadanantarapayadapavargaha. So this can't even be pronounced without a guidance in the first point. So it is not made to enjoy the meaning also. So it is not very easy to understand also. So that is why the first attribute I can say is astobham. It is a technical literature. Dukkha Janma Pravritti Dosha Mithya Jnananam Uttarottarapaye Tadanantarapayadapavargaha. It's a technical literature. Okay, then we should understand the meaning of this sutra to understand the other dimensions of this sutra. So what is he saying here? What is Gautama Maharshi is saying? He is talking about apavarga. Apavarga is nothing but the Parama Purushartha or the Moksha, which is predominantly known by everyone. Apavarga is Moksha. So how will you get Apavarga? What is the process of Apavarga? That is dealt here. Okay. And it is very systematically codified here. It is not directly told how you will get Apavarga. So what is he saying? Dukkha, Janma, Pravritti, Dosha, Mithyajnananam, Uttarottarapaye, Tadanantarapayat Apavarga. So I will just try to depict what is told in the sutra using a graphic, using these graphics. So in this sutra, we have two dimensions. So the Sutrakara wants us to understand what is preventing you from Apavarga. If somebody asks you or me, are you in the state of Apavarga? We say that no. Why? We feel sorrow. We are still sad. We don't feel that we have all the solutions from the problems. So Apavarga is nothing but the eradication of all the sorrow we have in our life. Atyantika dukkha nivrittihi Apavarga. So we are not in that state. Okay. So in this sutra, he is saying, why are we not in that state? Okay. What is he saying? You have all these technical terms: dukkha, janma, pravritti, dosha, mithyajnana. So for mithyajnanam, I have written it as ajnanam. Ajnanam is nothing but misapprehension or brahma, what we say, illusion. That is a kind of ajnanam. So because of misapprehension or ajnanam, doshas are born or created. This is the relation. Cause and effect relation between different entities is intended indirectly by the Sutrakara. He is not directly saying. He is not saying that Ajnana is the cause of dosha. Dosha is the cause of pravritti. Pravritti is the cause of janma. He is not directly saying. What is he saying? Before we know what is he saying, I will first complete what is the meaning of this graphic. So, Ajnana leads to dosha. Dosha is nothing but distorted views. Okay. Because of the distorted view you have, because of the dosha, pravritti happen. Pravritti is the outward action we have, activity. So all this pravritti will give you either punya or papa. Okay. Either punya or papa will lead to janma. Janma is nothing but rebirth. And if you have taken a janma, if you are in a janma, then it will lead to dukkha. Dukkha is nothing but sorrow, agony. So dukkha is equal to samsara. When you say that I am not in total bliss, if you say that I am still experiencing sorrow, if you say that I don't have solutions to all the problems I have and I might have, then you are in samsara. So indirectly he is intending this process. So he is intending the cause and effect. He is intending the cause and effect relationship between different entities here. So what is the other dimension we have in this sutra? What is he actually saying? So in the second part of the sutra, you can see Uttarottara apaye tadanantara apayat apavarga. Uttaram is next. So the last most entity, if it is destroyed, then the previous entity will be destroyed. Okay, how will that be destroyed? What is the logic behind it? So he is also indirectly intending this karyanashe, karananashe, karyanasha. It's not karyanashe, karananasha. It's a typo. Karananashe, karyanasha. Okay, 1 minute. So it is a karananashe, karyanasha. What is the karana? Okay, we'll go through that one by one. So I have also explained about the karana and karya in my previous slide also. So ajnana is the karana of dosha. So if the ajnana is destroyed, if the karana is lost, if the karana is destroyed, then the karya, the effect will also be destroyed. If I don't have ajnana, I will not have dosha or the distorted view. If I don't have dosha, I don't have the cause for an activity, outward activity. If I don't have an outward activity, the reason for an outward activity, I will not have rebirth. I will not take birth again. If I don't have a birth again, I don't have a scope to be in sadness again. So that is dukkha. There is no dukkha. So before all these things, we need to have the tattva jnana. Okay. So the first sutra of Nyaya Sutram is Pramana Prameya Samshaya Prayojana Drishtanta Siddhanta Avayava Tarka Nirnayavada Jalpa Vitanda Hetva Bhasa Chalajati Nigrahasthananam Tattva Jnanan Nishreyasadi Gamaha. So that is the first sutra. So what is the intention of that sutra? If you are knowing all these elements, the entire universe is of 16 elements. If you know the actual knowledge of those, true knowledge of those 16 elements, you will not have ajnana. If you don't have ajnana, you don't have dosha. If you don't have dosha, you will not have any outward activity. If you don't have that, you don't have rebirth. If you don't have rebirth, there is no dukkha. And the absence of total dukkha is apavarga. That is what he is saying. So this is the brief introduction of what is a sutra. Okay. So we should understand what kind of a person can create these kinds of sutras. Why are these sutras eternal? Why are Brahma Sutras contemplated upon even now? Why are we still using Yoga Sutras to actually build our way towards moksha? Because the Sutrakaras are having a very key role there. And what is the mindset our rishis have? So Sutrakaras are also rishis. So while preparing or composing the sutras, what is the mindset of a rishi? So before we enter into that, we have to understand what are the different mindsets or personalities which are told in Yoga Sutra. So in Yoga Sutra and Bhashya, to be precise, in the Bhashya written by the famous king, I forgot the name of that Bhashya, Martanda. Yeah. So in the Martanda Bhashya, we have this Chitta Bhumi concept, which is dealt very nicely. So the Chitta Bhumi is told that there is 5 types of Chitta Bhumis. Like we have Kshiptam, Moodham, Vikshiptam, Ekagram, and Niruddham. I will not go into the details of these Chitta Bhumis or personalities. I am only giving you the contrast of what is a Rishi and what not is a Rishi. For example, the Kshiptam, the Rajas is very high in this kind of a personality. Rajas is driving the personality to take any decision. So the Asuras like Dashakantha, Ravana, and other Asuras, okay, who are driven by their anger, Krodha, these kinds of personalities come under the Kshiptam kind of a personality. And the other kind of a personality is Moodham, where the tamas is high, ignorance is high. They are not ready to change themselves. So these kinds of people are followers. Okay, we can take Rakshasas as an example. Rakshasas are those people who help the higher Asuras. Like we have many Rakshasas who helped Ravanasura. We have many Rakshasas who helped Kamsa. So all these who are helping without any their own mindset. They don't have their own thought process. They don't have their own idea. They are always followers. So those kinds of personalities are called as Moodha kind of a personality. And most of us are Vikshipta kind of a personality, which is Tattva Pradhana. But we are always inclined towards being happy. We always want Sukham. We always want material sukham. So we all come under the vikshipta. But the rishis don't fall into kshiptam, moodham or vikshiptam. They come under the ekagra. What is ekagram? So ekagra can be told as they are continuously contemplating on one particular thing. So the ekagram can also have another word called dhyanam. Dhyanam means vijatiya pratyaya pravaha anukula, vijatiya pratyaya pravaha anantarita sajatiya pratyaya pravaha anukula vyaparaha. So there is no distortion at all. There is no diversion at all. They are continuously contemplating upon one thing. So that kind of a personality is ekagra personality, and our rishis, all our sutrakaras come under this category. And above that is the drashta kind of a category, which can be stated as the niruddha category. Okay. So after knowing this, we can also know the contrast between an informed person, like we all are also informed. We also know many things. Thanks to the social media and other gadgets we are using nowadays, we are well informed. We are actually informed more than we are entitled to be informed or something else. So if you want to see the contrast between an informed person and a rishi, we have a scale called Panchakosha scale. So the Panchakosha scale is actually delight centric. It's talking about what is the kind of delight you are pursuing, or what is the kind of delight you are targeting. According to that, the scale states whether we are in that level or this level. Okay. So we have a verse in the Vedas like Anandadhyeva khal vimani bhutani jayante, so on and so forth. So which means that the entire creation is revolving around Ananda. What is the kind of delight I will get? So if we see here, an informed person like us, we want to be very happy at our body level, anna level. We want to be very happy. We are always desiring to be happy at our prana level. The prana means the ability. And we also want our people. We want that manasa ananda also. Manasa ananda is nothing but the happiness we get when we are in a group. When I say that I am attending a marriage, why am I attending a marriage ceremony? Because I will be very happy between my own people. Why am I very happy between my own people? Because that is my target. Because I am a manasa-centric person. And most of us are not even aware of the Vijnanamaya and the Anandamaya level we have. The Vijnana and the Ananda is not related to those things which you can perceive in this Janma. It is higher. So I will also talk about what are those processes which are involved to make a Rishi. So this is one comparison. In the same way, you can also compare a material scientist with a Rishi also. So some of the scientists, even the Western scientists, have the attribute, have the qualities to be called as a Rishis. Okay. So that also can happen. But a very normal material scientist, if we take, he might have a part of Vijnana Ananda. Vijnana Ananda can be further divided into two, the Buddhigata Ananda and the Vijnanagata Ananda. Vijnanagata Ananda is related to not only one Janma, but many Janmas. The Buddhigata Ananda is related to his training in this Janma. So most of the material scientists we have are the people who say that they are discovering something or they are inventing something. They all come under the Buddhi level, Buddhigata Ananda only. But the Rishis who have prepared the Sutras did not stop themselves there. They are targeting towards the higher level of Ananda in their life. So we'll just see how are they targeting? Are they really getting it or not? And what is the process of it? And what does Yoga Shastra say about it, we'll see in this slide. So, the process from a Vidyarthi to a Rishi, if we want to understand, if a Vidyarthi is having Sharanagati, Sharanagati means Anyatha Sharanam Nasti Tvameva Sharanam Mama. If he is offering all his ego in the feet of his Guru or the knowledge source, then he is called as Sharanagata. And if that kind of a person is doing the Adhyayana, and if he is doing the Shravanam, Shravanam is the first level of knowing something. For example, if I say that I am knowing so-and-so text, what is the first level? I will be hearing those words from my Guruji. I will be understanding the peripheral meaning of those words. That is the Shravana. And after that, between the other Vidyarthis, among the other Vidyarthis, because of my training, I am doing the Mananam. Mananam is attaching some reasoning to the peripheral understanding of the particular knowledge source. So that is the Mananam. After the Mananam, because of Guru's Anugraha and the Sampradaya, if I am in the process of Nididhyasanam, Nididhyasanam is the continuous contemplation of the knowledge source, then I will be envisioning some new elements which can't be told directly in the Shravana part. It can only be understood by your own sadhana, by your own experience. So that is the Nididhyasana part. And after that, a person can be having Ritambara Prajna. So this is the new technical term I am introducing now. So a Rishi will have that Ritambara Prajna only because of Ritambara Prajna. He can be in a state to create Sutras, which have time, which is not time bound, which is universal, which will not have any ambiguity, which is irrefutable, and all those attributes which we were talking about. Those kinds of sutras can only developed by a person who is having Ritambara Prajna. What is Ritambara Prajna? Ritambara Prajna, the actual meaning of, means the etymology of Ritambara Prajna is Ritam Bharati iti Ritambara. What is Ritam? Ritam Satyam. Satyam is truth, only truth. So Ritambara Prajna means Satyameva Bibharti Nachatatra Viparyasa Jnana Gandhopi. So in that state, he will be only bearing truth. He will be only knowing truth. He will not know other than truth. Why? Because of this process of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana and all those things. And while explaining what is Ritambara Prajna, in the Vyasa Bhashya we can see this shlokam. Agamena anumanena dhyanabhyasa rasena cha tridha prakalpayan prajna labhate yogamuttamam. So here there is a word called dhyana abhyasa rasena. So in this Nididhyasana stage, his contemplation is continuous. So to actually explain it, we have a sutram in Yoga Sutras also. Dirghakala nairantarya satkarya asevitaha drudhabhumihi. So Dirghakala means for a long time. Nairantarya, without any gap. Satkara asevitaha. Satkara is a kind of good deeds are done by this particular person along with Nididhyasanam. Hence, he will get the Ritambara Prajna, and that kind of a Ritambara Prajna will enable a person to become a Rishi, and then he can prepare the Sutras. Now, we'll briefly go through this. I know that I'm out of time. I will take 5 minutes to talk about what is the process of Sutrakarana according to Nyaya Sutra. So, till now we have understood what is a sutra and who is a Sutrakara. Now, what is the process of Sutrakarana? So, before preparing a framework first of all, we should understand that Nyaya Sutras is the first grantha of Nyaya Darshanam. So, what is the purpose of Nyaya Darshana? The purpose of Nyaya Darshana is to give a perception towards life and enable you to solve your problems. So, what should be the framework of Gautama Maharshi before he even write Nyaya Sutram? First of all, he will be thinking about 4 things which are very, very popular in the Shastra texts, which are called as Anubandha Chatushtayam. So he will be thinking about who is the Adhikari, who will be using my Sutras, what is the Vishaya, what is the main content of my Sutras, what is the Prayojanam, what is the main purpose of my Sutras, and what is the Sambandha, what is the relationship between that Prayojana, the purpose and the content. How will the purpose will be attained by this content? That is the Sambandha. So he will be thinking about this thing. So after thinking about that, he will have a map inside his mind. So we have a logic in Tarka Shastra, which is Artham Buddhva Shabda Rachana. Before you even prepare something, you will actually contemplate upon that. For example, if I am talking about the process of sutra making here, I should actually think about the process in my mind. Then only I can tell about that. I can even talk about that. So before even he writes the sutras, he will be having a map inside his mind. And in this map, what all he has all those concepts which he wants to deal. And he will also have the Anubandha Chatushtayam in his mind. What is the kind of person I am targeting? What is the purpose of my sutras? How can I achieve these purposes through the content? So what is the kind of content I should have? And what is the relationship between the content or the purpose and the content? So that is what he has in his mind. Okay, so there are many technical terms here. So we have a methodology called Shastra maps, where we actually have a methodology, a process to actually represent what our rishis have in their mind through using this Shastra map technology. So till now we have actually achieved derived Shastra maps for different granthas. So what we have here is the concepts which are dealt in the sutra and the relationship between those concepts. Okay, I don't want to go into the technicalities because it will take more time, but I want to say that these kinds of maps they have inside their mind before they even represent, before they even compose the sutras. And there is one another style. Each and every Sutrakara has his own style of dealing with the knowledge system. For example, if we take Kanada Maharshi, his style is Sadharmya Vaidharmyam. By showing the similarity and the difference between different things, he will be enabling the reader to get the Tattva Jnana about the Padartha. In the same way, the Gautama Maharshi has a style which is called as Uddesha Lakshana Pariksha Vidhanam. So, the first target of Gautama Maharshi is to give us the Tattva Jnanam of all the entities we have in this world. So, the entities which are present in this world are called as Padarthas, and giving the Tattva Jnana of those 16 Padarthas is his first goal. So to achieve it, he is using this style called Uddesha Lakshana Pariksha Vidhan. So what is Uddesha? Uddesha is enlisting something. So first of all, he will be enlisting everything. In the first sutra itself, he has enlisted all the 16 Padarthas. In the same way, he is enlisting all the other elements also. For example, the first element which is dealt in Nyaya Sutra is called as Pramana. So the Uddesha Sutram of Pramana is Pratyakshanumana Upamana Shabda Pramanani. The word Shabda is missing here. Pratyakshanumana Shabda Pramanani. This is the first Sutra or the Uddesha Sutra of Pramana. So he's enlisted what are Pramanas. And after that, in that Pramana, there is one Pramana which is called as Pratyaksha, and he is giving the Lakshanam. Lakshanam is giving the definition. So what is the definition? Indriyartha Sannikarshotpannam Jnanam Avyapadeshyam Avyabhichari Vyavasayatmakam Pratyaksham. So by giving the detailed definition of the enlisted technical terms, you will be understanding that particular concept in detail. So that is why, first of all, he is enlisting something, then he is giving the definition. And after that, there is a process called Pariksha. Pariksha is nothing but examining. Examining what? Examining whether the particular definition fits or not. So the examination is also done by the Sutrakara itself. When the reader is going through that examination, he will be understanding that particular concept in detail. So the Pariksha Sutram here will be, there are many Pariksha Sutras for Pratyaksham. Pratyaksha Lakshana Anupapattihi Asamagra Vachanat. So this is the kind of Pariksha Sutram he is using. There are many other dimensions which I wanted to introduce, but the time is very little. So I am only going through the main topics. So this is one Artham Buddhva Shabdarachana. Whatever he is writing, he will actually contemplate about that in his mind before he even presents it. So this is how a Sutrakara, after the process of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana and attaining the state of Rutambara Prajna, then he is totally equipped to actually envisage whatever he wants to target and compose a sutra or a Sūtragrantha. Okay, so that is the process and that is the ability our rishis have. And I can say that we cannot replace that. We cannot say that I can write a sutra. It's not a formula. We should be very cautious that sutra, the word sutra is used for a formula. A formula can be created by an informed person also, but a sutra which is long lasting, which has timeless usage application, that can't be created by anyone like us. So in this talk, I have talked about the introduction of IKS. What is a sutra? Who is a Sutrakara? What is the process of making a sutra in brief? Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Namaste.
Thanks, Suryanarayana garu. It was the part of Sutrakarana was very new. I think people have not covered this topic. Because you were not able to devote much time to that area, I request you to elaborate that and give a more detailed presentation in the form of maybe a writing, or Sri Meghji may arrange a completely full talk on that very specific topic only.
Yes, we'll do that.
During some other occasion.
Sure.
Thank you very much for that.